Hello, my name is Will Swinghammer. I am a senior developer at Results Engineering, and I will be showing you the Procure to Pay purchase order system and approval workflow available from Results Engineering. I will walk you through how a user can make a purchase request, have it approved by multiple approvers, and then have the order received, all from within this application in the workflow module in OnBase. The first thing that a user will see will be the purchase order system login screen. So they will fill in their username and password. And they're presented with a welcome screen. Everything they need is on the left-hand menu, where they can create a new purchase order, view anything that's unapproved, update any that are pending and need changed. They can also view any that have been approved, receive them, and view any that have been closed out. So the first thing we're going to do is actually come in here and create a new purchase order. The vendor information and ship to is the first fields that the user will want to fill in. The vendor file can either live within OnBase or be hooked up to the financial management system of the customer. So we're going to go ahead and search for some, and we're going to choose Cascade School Supplies, and we got to select where this is going to be shipped to. We're going to send it to Thomas Worthington. The next thing we're going to do is see if there's anything that needs to be changed. You can select freight terms if there are any. The carrier, UPS or FedEx, you can fill that in. If you want to set any payment terms, or if there are any from the particular vendor, they would auto-fill in. Automatically fills in the order date, fill in when it's due, and then you can add any notes that you want to put on the purchase order. So there's a lot of flexibility with how the purchase order gets created, and these things can be turned on and off depending on the customer's need. So the next thing you need to do is actually go in and create the line items that you need to order from. The system is really intuitive in that it already has pulled in who the vendor is, and it'll allow you to search an item catalog. So any orders that have already been made, or if you have an item catalog from the vendor, we can search on that very easily and hook it in to the Procure to Pay system. So I'm not going to actually enter anything in here. I'm just going to pull up the full catalog from the Cascade School Supplies. We're going to choose what we want. We need some art paste. We need 20 of those. And it automatically filled in the extended price and put it in down here with the GL code. So the GL account code can be hooked up as well to the financial management system and look at who the user is and pull back any account codes that are valid for them. And you can do that real time, just like when you're searching on Google. So if I start typing in something, it'll start trying to figure out which GL account code I'm meaning. So actually this is the one I want. We can save and close this. If there was an item image associated with the art paste, it could have displayed down here so they can see that they are ordering the correct thing. So go ahead and save and close that. It's now been updated. We know our totals, and we can go ahead and submit our purchase order, which will be routed directly into OnBase to be approved and worked on from there. Go ahead and submit that. We can always create a barcode cover sheet directly from this application if you want to scan it into a system, and we give them the option to create another purchase requisition very easily to keep them working right along. But as I mentioned, this purchase requisition now lives in OnBase as a read-only version of the document. So we come into OnBase, we look here at the purchase order approval workflow. We can see that there's some purchase orders already sitting here that need to be worked on. So if you highlight one, you can see that that information that has come over from the P2P system and is now sitting in OnBase as a read-only version of that information. This is a different purchase order, but you get the idea. So you can review this information as the approver and then either approve it, deny it, do whatever you need to do. We can add additional functionality, but for right now what we're going to do is actually just go ahead and approve this one. And it'll require you to enter comments. We have some canned ones if it was a discussion of meeting or however things might get approved in your organization, or you can enter something in here, a little bit custom, go ahead and hit save. And the system has actually detected that an additional approval must be made before this PO can be finalized. So this is that multiple approver level. Since it's $4,000, this particular user did not have the authority to go ahead and approve this purchase order initially. So we'll just hit OK, and it still sits there. And right down here, we can see that purchase order that I created a moment ago has now arrived and is sitting in the system as well. So as I mentioned before, we had that one purchase order that exceeded $4,000, which exceeded this particular user's approval limit. So the next thing that you have to do in the process is obviously get someone to approve it who has that purchasing authority. So if we come over here to this one, pull up Graybar Electric, nope, Results Engineering, this is the one we were looking for, and they go ahead and approve it. They get the same screen as before. They can type an entry for why they approved it, or just enter in something, hit the save button, and now it's been approved. So this user was an administrator with the permission levels necessary to go ahead and approve that purchase request, and now it's moved on in the workflow and should be generating a purchase order number and be able to be received and continue on with the business process. So now what we want to do, since we've created our purchase order, we sent it to the vendor, we've made our order, now it's time for them to actually send us the product and have it be received. And that's another thing that can be done very easily from our P2P purchase order system. So we have the ability to come in here, highlight this button that says Receive Purchase Orders, and see the one that we were just working on. Go ahead and click on that. Create the receipt. You can also create multiple receipts at once just to keep the system flowing a little bit better, but right now we'll just do the one. So let's create the receipt for Results Engineering. You can see the information from the original purchase request and PO number that's come through as to what we should be receiving, what the information was when we initially made the order. So we have our quantity from the purchase order, how it was measured, the price, and the extended price. So in this case, we've only received maybe 50 of those hours, or sorry, only 5 of those hours, because 50 would actually exceed the quantity. It automatically fills out the total amount received. You can enter in notes. One afternoon of work is a note that we can add to every line item should there have been multiples, and we can enter in another PO processing comments so that additional detail, if needed, more than one line can be added. And we will say what hours may be needed, and we can go ahead and click Receive PO. Now it returns you back to the screen where you can select the different purchase orders to receive against. So if we come back to this one, you can see that we can continue to receive against it. If we go back to Cascade School Supplies, we receive this one, we're going to receive this one in the full amount, so we only need to do 4, which would do a full receive of this purchase order. Received in full. Go ahead and receive it. Now it has been removed from the list of items that are available to be received. So the system has detected that the purchase order has been fully received, removed it from the listing, and is ready to be closed out. Now when we did that receiving, it also sent a copy, just like the purchase request, a read-only copy to OnBase to track and record that information. So that OnBase repository stores that information and can be retrieved at any point for audit or future reference, whatever your needs may be. It'll always be stored within OnBase and ready to be retrieved at any time. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. In the next video, I will demonstrate how OnBase workflow can be used to enhance and even automate the payment processes for invoices.